Banjo Land, Mike Hedding here, coming to you today with a free banjo lesson. We're going to talk about converting a simple melody to a bluegrass style solo. And this is something I see trips up a lot of beginner players. I know this trips me up a lot, was, you know, you'd have a single note melody and then the question is, okay, do I just add other kind of open strings around it, or how do I convert it to a bluegrass style solo? And it's not quite as simple as just adding notes around it, because remember, Scruggs style banjo is an approximation of the melody. We're not just taking that single note melody and just adding open strings around it. We're actually converting that single note melody into kind of a Scruggs bluegrass style solo. So that's what we're going to talk about for this free banjo lesson. We're going to take the simple song Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or the ABCs, and we're going to look at converting it to a bluegrass style solo. So how do we, we don't just go and fill it up with open strings. We're going to figure out how to convert some of those open strings to slides, to hammer-ons, really just look at adapting it to kind of a bluegrass style. And this takes practice, but it's really good practice, because once you figure out how to convert melodies to bluegrass style, you can start taking your own favorite songs and converting them into bluegrass solos. All right, let's break down this lesson. Here we go. All right, let's start breaking down this beginner lesson for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So let's start by breaking down the absolute single note melody, and then we'll look at how do we convert that to a bluegrass style solo. Because remember, we were talking in the intro that Scruggs style banjo, so bluegrass style banjo, is an approximation of the melody. So you want to capture the melody, but you're not necessarily going to be playing every single note of the single note melody. And that can be really confusing, especially when you're first starting, because you have to figure out which notes to leave out and which notes to leave in to still capture the flavor of the melody. And that's what we're going to talk about for this lesson. So let's start by just breaking down the easy melody in the key of G, and we're just going to do it down the neck. So we're going to start with the open third string twice, and then open first string twice. So these are going to be quarter notes, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And it doesn't matter too much what fingers you use with your right and left hand. I have the fingerings listed, so I'm doing thumb, thumb, middle, middle with my right hand. And then we're going to play the second fret on the first string, either with your first or second finger. I'm going to use my second finger, and we're going to play that note twice. And then back to the open first string for a half note this time. So a half note is 2 quarter notes, so twice the value. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that a few times. I'll do it without talking. And trust your knowledge of this melody to help you play the rhythm of it. That's why I'm starting with a song that's really familiar. But if you're having trouble for some reason playing that half note, what you could do is play it as 2 quarter notes. And then once you get the timing of it down, take the second one out. You could even kind of like ghost play it but not hit the string if you needed to. Okay, so that's the opening melody, not too hard obviously. And then we have a little response to that. We're going to go down with our first finger of our left hand on the first fret of the second string, play that note twice. Open second string. Second fret third string with your second finger. And then another half note. So not too hard there, we just kind of walk down those notes. So let's put that top line together. So we have... Now we have our second melody line. It's pretty similar. We're going to start with the open first string this time, play that note twice. And then first fret second string, open second string twice, and then second fret third string for a half note. So again, we're kind of just walking down those notes. And then we play that exact same melody again. So you play that twice, and then we're back to our opening melody line. so let's play that whole thing. Here we go. So not too hard. If you're an absolute beginner, what I want you to work on is keeping your fingers really close to the frets. So, you know, don't play back here. It's not going to sound as good. The other thing I want you to practice is picking out the notes loud and proud so you get enough value out of each one. You know, you don't want to play them too hard to where it kind of buzzes like that. But you got to find that right, you know, if you're too timid, then it's also hard to hear the notes. So, again, that takes a little practice to just figure out how much pressure to push on the string. So not too hard there. That's the basic melody. So let's look at adapting that to more of a bluegrass kind of Scruggs style banjo solo. And this is a really good song to try this on because the melody doesn't actually have a lot of space in it, right? So when you first look at the single note melody, you might think to yourself, okay, where do I actually put in those rolls? You know, maybe at first glance you would just think, okay, maybe I'll just bounce off an open string for all the notes, something like... just bouncing off the open fifth string there. But that's not really how you play Scruggs style banjo because we're not taking advantage of our 3 fingers. So usually you have 3 notes to what would be called a banjo roll. So just kind of bouncing off an open string like that. You might do that for a little bit, but to do that for an entire song kind of sounds repetitive. You know, you wouldn't just go... You know, might work for some banjo styles, but that's not really like a bluegrass way to play that style of melody. Because remember, Scruggs style is an approximation of the melody, so we're not necessarily going to play every single one of those notes. What we're going to do is find those spots to imply that and then kind of mess with the timing to, again, fit it into our 3-finger roll. First thing I'm going to do is find that open 3rd string on a lower string, the 5th fret. Hopefully if your banjo's in tune, those should be the same note. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide into that note. So I'm going to slide from 2 to 5, and I'm going to play thumb, index, middle with my right hand, which is going to be a roll, the forward roll. So I'll do it without my left hand for a second. I'm going to go. So thumb, index, middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide into that. So right as I'm getting up there, I'm playing that note. Get enough of the first note. And then we're going to have one more note. We're going to hit our open 5th string. So we have... And that's going to take the place of... So now we have... Okay, so it's not note for note melody, right? We're implying that melody with a roll. Okay, and then for the second part of the first measure of the bluegrass style solo, this is measure 13, we're going to go up and do the same thing. Our second part of our melody is the open 1st string, right? So we're going to find that note now on the 2nd string. It's your 3rd fret. Your banjo's in tune, and this time we're gonna hammer on instead of slide. So a hammer on is put your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, and I'm gonna play that note, and then I'm gonna hammer on my 2nd finger to change the pitch. You hear that? So I'm not playing the note twice with my right hand. I'm not going. I'm playing the note once. and then I'm hammering on. And then I'm going to play with my right hand. I'm going to play, so I'm playing my index finger and then my middle finger. So that's how I'm implying that first string. I'm hammering on into that. And then I'm going to go up and hit my thumb on the 5th string, and then 3rd fret one more time. So keep your left hand down. So we have. Do just the right hand once if you're a beginner. Pretend they're all 0, so I'm going. Starts over. Starts over. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Add the left hand back. So that, remember, that's going to be a substitute for. I'll do it a little faster. So we have. So that's taking the place of. Now we have. And then right here, measure 14. You can keep your 2nd finger down. We're going to put our 1st finger up on the 1st or 2nd fret 1st string. Play that note, and then do middle thumb. So 1st string, 5th string, and then roll forward and take your 1st finger off. So you have. And then we need 2 more notes: open 5th string and open 1st string. And beat 1 is a quarter note, so you have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. I'll do it without talking. And remember, that's taking the place of. Now we have. So one interesting thing about there is, you notice normally we would have a half note, but we're filling that up with a syncopated lick. So see how that open 1st string is, and 3rd fret, same note, is happening on an on beat on beat 3 right here. And then we hit the 5th string, and then it's actually happening on an off beat. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Hear that? So that last note is on an and. So that's sometimes when you hear about banjo syncopation, that's kind of playing the melody on an interesting on beat, off beat, and then kind of playing with that timing. That's where the magic of 3 fingers comes in, because normally a 4/4 song would have 8 eighth notes, right? 8 eighth notes in a single measure. But 3 doesn't divide into 8 evenly, so we get this on beat, off beat, on beat thing that we're doing there. So we have. So let's play those 2. I'll play the single note melody and then the bluegrass first 2 measures back and forth so you can hear them. So we have. Bluegrass. Single note. A little faster, one more time. And then measure 15, go into your C chord. So 1st finger, 1st fret, 2nd string, 3rd finger, 2nd fret, 1st string. I'm going to hit the 2nd string with my thumb of my right hand, and then do thumb middle, 2nd string, 1st string, and then I'm going to take my 2nd finger and do a 2/4 slide on the 3rd string with an alternating thumb roll. So I'm going to go thumb, index, thumb, middle. So those are my strings: 3, 2, 5, 1, and I'm going to do a 2/4 slide. So same thing, right when I get up to that 4th fret, I'm playing that open 2nd string, should be the same note. remember our melody there is, so we're going, and then, so you slide up, and then you basically move your second finger right back down to the second fret of the third string and do that same roll, 3, 2, 5, 1, and then open third string, and then pinch the outside strings. So you have, and that's a substitute for. So we're shaving off part of the melody there because we're going. We're implying this part. We're implying that now with. So we didn't play note for note melody there. That's really important. The other little thing is make sure you pause at the beginning of measure 15. It's a quarter note. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. So there's a little pause at the end there too. So let's play that top line of the Bluegrass solo, the first 4 measures. Here we go. Single note. Bluegrass. Second line, not too hard. 2, 3 hammer-on the second string, same concept. We're going. So now we're going to do a 2, 3 hammer-on, your thumb of your right hand, thumb middle, and then the outside strings 5, 1. So we're going thumb middle with our right hand. Same idea there. The melody is 1, 2, and we're playing, again, a syncopated melody there. So we're going 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and versus, which is more square. You know, you could play it that way too, but we're playing with that Scruggs style syncopation there. Then your thumb comes down of your right hand and go into your C chord, and then slide, pinch. So we've already done that. We did that in measure 15. And the last note is different. So you slide up, and then you go to the second fret, and then pinch. So we have. And remember, that takes the place for. So we have. And then for measure 19 and 20, we're going to play something very similar. Starts the exact same way. Except right here, we're going to do a slide, this time with a forward roll. So do T-I-M. So strings 3, 2, 1. And then go up and hit the 5th string with your thumb. And then this time, you have to move your index finger of your right hand to the 3rd string and play that note. And then pinch. So we converted this roll to this. So a very subtle difference, but it changes the timing very slightly. So we have, really important, let's do just the right hand. We have, play 17 through 20. That's good practice on how we implied that melody. Very slight, a slight difference with the different rolls. We have. Right here it's different. Again. Now we're back to our opening melody line. 2-5 slide on the low string. This time we're going to do the alternating thumb roll, so T-I-T-M. 4, 3, 5, 1 are my strings. So we just converted that to, remember from the forward roll we did in measure 13. Now we're doing just a different roll, same melody line. So that frees up my thumb to now play the next measure. I'm going to come down with my thumb and do a 2-3 hammer-on, and then hit the open 5th string, and then 2nd string 3rd fret. So subtle difference we have. And then our 22 is the same as 14. So you put your 1st finger down, 2nd fret, 1st string. And then our ending is C chord, slide, and then down to the 2nd fret with an alternating thumb roll. So that time we actually did go a little closer to the melody. We kind of did that bouncing off thing instead of going. But we wouldn't want to do that for a whole song. So let's play that last line. So we have. Faster. Alright, let's play the whole thing. We'll play the single note melody and then the bluegrass solo. Here we go. So hopefully that gives you some practice converting an easy single note melody to kind of a bluegrass style solo. And this takes some practice, and so I don't expect you to get this right away. And remember, you're approximating the melody, and that ultimately will be up to you if you say, hey, this was close enough to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or you say, oh no, I need a little bit more of the melody. That will ultimately be up to your own personal preference, and that's what's really fun, is that's where your own personal style can come out. Not every banjo player is going to play that melody the same way, and that's what will make you unique and interesting. All right, hopefully that gives you some stuff to practice. All right, good luck.